Imagine looking up to someone so much that you try to become them by copying their videos and even the way they spoke. But instead of succeeding, getting called a copycat. Well, although that kid made some mistakes along the way, he learned from them and now gets millions of views every month. This is the rise of TinyDude. TinyDude, whose real name is Troy and who is currently 16 years old, lives in Cape Town in South Africa. In order to understand how he got to where he is today, let's go back to when he was just 8 years old. You see, around this time, he had always loved gaming, but unlike most of his classmates, he didn't have an Xbox or a proper gaming setup, so while his friends spent their time playing Minecraft or Fortnite together, his parents wouldn't allow him to own a console or play those games. And so, that left them with only one option: his dad's old work laptop. It was slow, outdated, and never designed for gaming, but it was all he had. In 2018, that laptop introduced him to Roblox, and a year later, he discovered Arsenal, and he became completely obsessed with it. He spent countless hours playing the game and watching Arsenal YouTubers, imagining what it would feel like to build an audience of his own someday. Oh, and since he lived in South Africa, he was almost always forced to play Roblox games with high ping. From the very beginning, he had to learn how to compete while his internet connection constantly worked against him. Low-key, I don't know how he did that, because if I lag in a game, I'm quitting, bro. Fast forward to 2020 and TinyDude was now 10 years old. It was at this time that he created his first YouTube channel called TinyDude. Today that channel is known as TinyDude 2, but at the time, it was where he first began learning how YouTube actually worked. Inspired heavily by creators like Creecraft and Tankar, he uploaded Roblox videos using that same old work laptop. The videos were awful. The quality was poor. The editing was rough. And he had absolutely no idea what he was doing. But he kept uploading. Every terrible video taught him something new. And over time, he slowly taught himself editing, thumbnails, commentary, recording, storytelling, and what actually made people click on a video. He didn't have an editor, a team, or anyone teaching him the process. Everything came through trial and error. This is very true, guys. Sometimes the best way to learn and get better is by trying again and again. Even if you fail, you learn something along the way. So, did you really lose? Anyways, one thing that accelerated his editing skills was helping edit his brother's Roblox Mad City montages. While doing this, he noticed his brother would pull in over 1,000 views per video, while his own uploads barely gained attention, and this made him jealous. But it also motivated him to improve. So, in a way, it's a good thing. When Roblox Bed Wars launched, he left his original channel behind and focused entirely on Bed Wars content. At first, he used an AI voice because his parents wouldn't allow him to reveal his real voice online. Around this time, his videos still weren't great. He tried copying a few videos from some YouTubers he would watch, hoping it would work out. But the problem with this is that he had not developed an identity of his own. Eventually, when he was 11 years old, his parents finally allowed him to use his real voice. Even then, he was embarrassed by how young he sounded, so he used the pitch shifter to disguise it. Although he hated hearing himself in recordings, he knew using his own voice made the videos more entertaining. So, he kept going. Every upload became another opportunity to improve his editing, thumbnails, commentary, and overall production quality. While all of this was happening, he was still attending school, where most people simply knew him as the class clown. Very few people realized that after school, he was spending hours studying YouTube, analyzing thumbnails, editing videos, and trying to build something that could completely change his future. And eventually, it paid off in 2021, because at just 11 years old, yes, 11 years old, he was accepted into YouTube's partner program and started earning money from his videos. At around 4,000 subscribers, something happened that seemed impossible. One of his favorite YouTubers noticed him. The creator he had looked up to for years suddenly knew who he was. He occasionally played Roblox alongside him and his friends, and even helped behind the scenes by gathering resources for some of his videos. To his younger self, it felt like a dream. The YouTuber who inspired his entire journey was now someone he was actually playing with. But while that dream was becoming reality, another problem was beginning. His channel started receiving more and more hate. Copy his video ideas, thumbnails, editing style, and even the way he spoke because he admired him so much. Videos exposing him and discussing the drama started appearing, and some of them gained significant views, simply because his name was attached. The criticism continued for years. Eventually, even the big YouTuber himself told him he wouldn't get very far if he continued copying him. But he didn't listen. He wanted success so badly that he convinced himself that copying the formula was the safest path forward. By the end of 2022, after saving nearly everything he had earned from YouTube, he finally bought his first gaming PC. For years, every video had been created on an aging work laptop. But now, for the first time, he finally had equipment capable of matching his ambitions. Rather than spending his YouTube earnings on normal purchases, he invested almost everything back into the channel. Better equipment, editing software, thumbnail designers, subscriptions, anything that could improve his content. Around this same time, students at school began discovering his channel. Teachers occasionally played his videos on classroom projectors, and although he had around 12,000 subscribers, he felt embarrassed watching everyone see content he remained insecure about. And I get it. I didn't feel comfortable myself until I hit 100,000 subscribers. Before that, many people I know in real life thought that my little YouTube thing was just a joke. In 2023, his idol, the big YouTuber, completely distanced himself from TinyDude because of a joke he later regretted, and likely because of how much of a fanboy he had become. His idol, his voice suddenly cracked so much that people joked about it. But it's fine because he found some of the jokes funny. But still, recording became difficult because he hated listening to himself. For months, his voice felt unfamiliar. And although he could have quit, he refused to stop uploading simply because he felt insecure. So, he kept recording, and by early 2024, his voice had finally settled. Although his Bed Wars channel continued growing, he was beginning to lose interest in the game. Years of making the same content had become repetitive, and he knew staying comfortable forever would eventually stop his growth. In the middle of 2024, when he had around 60,000 subscribers, Roblox Rivals launched, and 10 days after release, he tried it for the very first time, and he immediately loved it. But his first Rivals videos produced mixed results. Some did reasonably well, and others completely failed. And because Bed Wars remained the safer choice, he continued uploading it while carefully testing Rivals. Switching games was risky. He had spent years building a Bed Wars audience, and abandoning that audience could have destroyed the momentum he had worked so hard to create. But by October 2024, Rivals had overtaken Bed Wars in player count, and he was ready for something new. More importantly, he finally had an opportunity to become known for being himself. TinyDude realized succeeding in Rivals required doing something different. Rather than copying everyone else, he focused on unlocking the rarest and most difficult items in the game. And on November 1st, 2024, he uploaded a video titled, "I Unlocked the Diamond Loadout in Rivals." And the video exploded. For the first time, he felt like he had discovered something uniquely his own. And so, he fully committed to Rivals. He uploaded almost every day, unlocked rare items, completed difficult challenges, and raced to become the first creator covering every update. Whenever Rivals updated, he had to understand the changes, record gameplay, edit the video, design a thumbnail, and upload before everyone else. Sometimes, he managed to publish within 20 minutes of an update going live. Dude, that's crazy. But guess what? Despite all of that, he was still competing from South Africa while dealing with constant high ping. Ain't nobody like high ping. At this point, he simply wasn't trying to grow anymore. He was trying to build a brand. By consistently unlocking rare items, covering updates first, and uploading almost every day, he developed a loyal audience that kept returning for every upload. Gradually, people stopped calling him the Temu version of his idol. Instead, they finally recognized him as TinyDude. That meant more to him than any subscriber milestone. For years, people defined him by who he copied. Now, they watched him because of what he created. This just goes to show that although we might make mistakes in the beginning, that doesn't mean we can't change over time and become better people. In March 2025, shortly after turning 15, he finally reached 100,000 subscribers. It had taken nearly 5 years since creating TinyDude and around 7 years since discovering Roblox. The milestone represented years of bad equipment, embarrassing videos, failed ideas, slow growth, drama, and constant criticism. Remember, he didn't start with exceptional talent. Everything he knew now came through experience. Every failed thumbnail, every awkward recording, every disappointing upload, each one taught him how to make the next video just a little bit better. Reaching 100,000 subscribers wasn't the result of one lucky moment. It was the accumulation of thousands of small improvements that almost nobody ever noticed. Of his career. He was publicly exposed by another YouTuber for alt farming in order to unlock dark matter, one of Rival's rarest items. Although other creators had reportedly used similar methods, he became the public face of the controversy. People who already disliked them suddenly had another reason to criticize him. The controversy didn't significantly hurt his channel's performance, but it's something people still bring up today. He knows he made a mistake, but he also believes one controversy shouldn't erase years of hard work. So he learned from it and kept uploading. TinyDude, what are we doing, bro? Did we not learn our lesson the first time, bro? By 2026, his channel was performing better than ever, averaging around 400,000 views per video. The same kid who wasn't allowed to play Minecraft or Fortnite, who created videos on his dad's old work laptop, and who spent years being told he would never succeed by copying someone else, had finally built something entirely on his own. He achieved it while dealing with high ping in South Africa. He achieved it while attending school 5 days a week. He achieved it without a team showing him how to succeed. And he achieved it while learning in public, where every mistake could be clipped, criticized, and remembered. He didn't succeed because everything went perfectly. He succeeded because he kept uploading even when his videos weren't good. He kept improving when people laughed. He kept creating after his biggest inspiration cut ties with him. He continued making videos through his voice change, through a dying game, and through controversies that many people tried to use to define his career. For years, he wanted to become the next big YouTuber like his idol. Everything changed when he finally stopped trying to become somebody else and became TinyDude. Up to this day, TinyDude still attends school 5 days a week. In many ways, he feels like those hours slow down his upload schedule, but he continues balancing both while staying as consistent as possible. Despite the success, he still edits every single video himself. The only person who regularly helps him is his thumbnail designer. Throughout his career, he's received plenty of hate online, and that hasn't disappeared. He doesn't believe most of it is deserved, but online communities often choose one person to criticize, and many times that person has been him. Fortunately, he's also built an extremely supportive community that continues to encourage him, even if a smaller group dislikes him, regardless of what he does. Looking back, his journey perfectly demonstrates the idea that practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to creating Roblox videos. His oldest uploads weren't the best, but anyone can clearly see the steady improvement in his editing, storytelling, thumbnails, and overall production quality as the years went on. And unlike many creators, he has never deleted old videos out of embarrassment. He keeps them public because they remind both himself and others just how far he's come. Like mentioned before, he wasn't naturally talented. Everything he knows today came from years of practice, consistency, experimentation, and learning from mistakes. And he's simply proud of the progress he's made and everything he's managed to build. And yeah, that's pretty much all the info I could find on TinyDude for you guys. So with that being said, I hope you guys all have an excellent day. Alright, TinyDude, if you could give one piece of advice to everyone watching this video right now, what would it be?
I would say if you truly believe you have the potential to become a big YouTuber one day, start as early as possible and stop worrying about what other people think. The younger you start, the more time you have to learn, improve, and gain experience. And who knows, maybe by the time you finish school, you could already be earning enough money to support yourself. Something else that not enough people talk about is protecting your reputation. You don't want to do something stupid that could come back and ruin your career later. Also, try to stay humble, keep a clean image and treat people properly. And if you're genuinely passionate and dedicated, focus on chasing views and building an audience rather than chasing money. If you consistently make great videos that people want to watch, the money will eventually follow.